Hey, crypto traders, checking in on Bitcoin and the altcoin space, most notably XRP bulls who have been putting on a show over the last few days. I'm seeing a couple little red flags in the short term and no big deal overall. It's just me being extra cautious. I'll point out what I am looking at and we will take it from there. So looking at the S&P 500 on the daily time frame, not much going on the past couple of days, pretty much sideways, so a non-event. But we have to keep an eye in the short term, especially if you're day trading cryptocurrencies. Look at QQQ, which is the NASDAQ and the tech sector. That is what the candlesticks are. And in the background here, these bars are Bitcoin. This is the 2-minute time frame, and as soon as the bell rang, correlations synced up very significantly. Little bull move, we topped out at the high at the same time. Hard drop, same 2-minute time frame. It's starting to break a little bit here, but very, very similar. And if we look at the 5-minute time frame, we can see the drop is the same and the bounce is similar. And I would say that QQQ gained some strength against Bitcoin in the short term. These correlations come and go, but clearly if you watch the first hour and a half of trading and you compare these two charts, they are very, very similar. And in my opinion, Bitcoin was absolutely correlated to what QQQ was doing this morning with that weakness. We also have the dollar that is bouncing. So the dollar broke daily support of 92.13, and then we had economic news come out this morning, and I believe it was PMI numbers. I'll have to double check exactly what it was, and I'm not going to double check because I don't care what it was. All I know is that it was something fundamental that led to this reaction, and now the question is overnight, can the bulls confirm an hourly trend change, which would be a daily support break with zero follow through, which would then have us scouting the potential of a shift in momentum on the dollar. We know we have to break 93.21 for the bulls to prove anything on the daily time frame, and that is the most important level for me personally. Keep in mind, in the US, we have holidays. Thursday, the stock market is closed. Friday is at a half day. So that's going to have a potential impact in the short term as far as correlations are concerned. Gold had a clear bear break today. Daily bear flag confirmed, and gold just hit the lowest price that we've seen in 4 months. So lowest price in 4 months, and that was a monthly bull flag, inside bar bull break, and then vaccine news started coming out. And 3 weeks in a row, 3 Mondays in a row, we've had bullish vaccine news, and it's put downward pressure on gold. And you could just say, well, fundamentally, that's people needing less. That's having less fear in the broader market, thinking that the vaccine is going to help stocks and not needing that hedge position as much. I'm going to be very interested to see if the dollar continues weak from here and if gold drops with the dollar and if Bitcoin hits all-time highs. I mean, if you want to be talking about stealing the limelight from gold, that is best case scenario. Weak dollar, weak gold, blue sky Bitcoin, because all the talking heads on social media and on CNBC are going to be talking about what's going on here? Why is gold dropping with dollar weakness? Is Bitcoin the new dollar hedge? Yada, yada. And it would just snowball from there as far as that narrative taking hold. So that's worth noting as well. Metals weakness. This morning, I saw metals weakness and tech sector weakness, and I saw Bitcoin responding to it. So it made me just a little bit extra cautious. Overall, my Bitcoin position is being based on the daily uptrend and daily 12-period EMA. At this point, I'm not touching the Bitcoin that I have remaining from that swing position from 10,700. I'm letting that ride, but I also had a pretty sizable ETH position, and I did take profit there, and I will explain that when we get to it. As far as Bitcoin is concerned in the short term, pretty much treating today like an inside bar. Double top with the high of yesterday. We have a 4-hour uptrend to be watching. Bulls are hoping to hold 18,000 for a 4-hour higher low. And the 12-hour time frame was just looking a little bit like a potential head and shoulders, which is another reason, again, why I took profit. Keep in mind, you don't want to have the same game plan as me if you are looking to capitalize on this opportunity, because how I am trading right now is very different to how I traded cryptocurrency in 2017. And again, it's just I made my profit and I'm not giving any of that back. And so I'm looking to conservatively add to that profit on a yearly basis, but I'm not going high risk, high reward, and I will gladly lock in 30% gains in a couple of weeks or a week's time, however long it's been, and leave money on the table. If we keep going up, great, I'll make money on my Bitcoin position. But if we drop down 20%, I don't want to give back the 20% that my account has gone up over the last however long. So if we were to see Bitcoin break 17,600 from here, I would call that a 12-hour head and shoulders, and we would then say our temporary top has been set, and the daily 12-period EMA support would then be at risk of being lost for the first time on this entire bull move. So 17,600 matters to me. I know people are walking up stop levels. That's a level. 18,000 is a level. And as far as resistance, 18 or just 19,000 psychological, and then that all-time high. We may need to consolidate before we make a run at that all-time high, and that would be just fine. As long as we form a weekly high or low, bulls aren't really concerned about an initial rejection, considering how extended we are in the short term heading into that resistance test. Still seeing dips being bought significantly. 5-minute oversold. We ended up here with a nice 5% bounce or so, 4% bounce. Another 5-minute oversold, V-shaped recovery. So dip buying still going on for sure. And if we were to break 17,600 from here, it's then the 4-hour oversold RSI that I personally would be patiently waiting for, and I would look to deploy my capital if that were to take place. BTC.D has the dominance chart has been dropping significantly, showing us the altcoin bulls have very much been enjoying the last 3 days. And you'll see that when we look at the XRP chart in just a moment. We're watching for a short-term bounce. We're just going to watch for a 4-hour lower high to be the result of this bounce. But with where we're standing right now, we're either going to see Bitcoin weakness and this chart bounce, which means altcoins are dropping faster than Bitcoin, or Bitcoin strength and this chart bouncing, meaning focus is back on Bitcoin as we make a push to try and go to higher highs. So doesn't mean we have to bounce right now. We could drop down another couple candles, but we know to be watching for a 4-hour oversold bounce. This is the first time in about 3 months that the 4-hour RSI has been oversold like this. So a clear shift to the altcoin bulls over the last 3 days. ETH USD, big time bull move and nice follow through. I'm watching an hourly rising wedge right now, and I'm definitely keeping in mind that in this market environment, we've seen plenty of rising wedges break bullish. It's a bearish pattern, but in a very bullish environment, these patterns can break bullish. But part of the reason I took some profit this morning is because of this pattern as well. So I sold a little bit in the 590s. I sold a little bit yesterday in the 570 range, and that's just me scaling out into strength. And I sat through the weekend pullback, 10% pullback, and I saw my account fluctuating week makers in both directions. And I said, okay, I'm going to sell a little bit into strength next time I get the opportunity. So I am down to half of my ETH swing position at this point. I forget where I entered on this drop in the mid to upper 400s, I believe is where I entered. So really nice gains in a short amount of time, and just locking some of that in, reducing some of my exposure, adding to my account, adding to my cash side of my account to give myself a lot to be looking for next time we see some longer term time frames dip. So we keep grinding this support and we keep rejecting from this uptrending resistance, and we're going to see a break of this rising wedge probably sometime within the next 6 hours, I would say. 6 hours go by and we're going to be getting real tight if we're still within this pattern. ETH BTC, beautiful monster move on the daily time frame. This daily downtrend resistance line broke, and we've seen very significant follow through, and there's tons of space for the daily higher low to form. Technically, we have not changed the daily trend, and a lot of these altcoin Bitcoin pairing bounces are just V-shaped and short squeeze in nature and not seeing trend changes just yet. So if we want this move to get follow through and keep going, we need to top out wherever that is and then do the higher low, higher high, confirm trend change for us to then zoom out and be looking for significant space, which there already is, for a weekly higher low to try and form, because we know bigger picture, it's a monthly higher low that we're trying to form on this ETH BTC pairing. LTC USD also keeps getting higher highs. New daily support level, $78. Resistance break of 88.56. We're not getting a ton of follow through. So again, here as well, it's looking a little bit like a rising wedge. This is the 4-hour time frame. And if I were going to draw it here, it would be that resistance line. And it's more of a channel, although I guess if I were to use a different anchor point from down here, it would be a little bit more constricting. That's worth watching as well. Again, they can easily break bullish, but when we see bull breaks with a lack of follow through, I scout rising wedges. It's just muscle memory at this point and something to be paying attention to. LTC BTC keeps its steady movement going. 4-hour time frame here. Is this a rising wedge as well? We know we want to see the US dollar pairings correlated to the Bitcoin pairings, and it is. So if we were to see both of these rising wedges break bearish on the 4-hour time frame, that would be a notable shift in momentum for the bears, which we have not seen in quite some time. So again, just something to keep an eye on. And for me, it was a motivator to take a little bit of profit. YFI USDT, daily inside bar, daily EMA 12 support, and looking for a daily higher low. 4-hour trend has to change. 4-hour daily higher low to be set. Low of 21.4, high of 27.2. Tried the higher low, couldn't change the trend, and now we're fading back down. So bulls would have to hold 21,400 and break 27,178 from here if we were going to say a daily trend change, or I should say a daily higher low has been set. The first thing I want to know now is, what does the Bitcoin pairing look like? Are we correlated in the same way? And we are. So again, we have to see 4-hour trend changes on both the US dollar and the BTC pairing if we're going to say, yep, daily higher lows are set. And we have to keep in the back of our mind, the most likely scenario, big picture, probably a weekly lower high compared to the all-time high. So even if we do set a daily higher low, the bulls then have to be cautious of failing to break 30,000 and then losing the daily uptrend, which would indicate, yes, our weekly lower high has been set. We're definitely still in a very bullish environment. Dips are continuing to be bought. Just always want to look on the other side of the coin and play devil's advocate, especially when everybody in the sector is so bullish in the short term. XRP, got to give a shout out to the XRP bulls, and they have been the weakest coin for years at this point out of the major altcoins, and that changed very significantly in a 3-day span, where it was just a massive short squeeze and a massive amount of dollar volume pouring in here. So we know the US dollar pairing is shifting some significant momentum, but it was really the Bitcoin pairing that kicked things off as far as getting significant follow through. And it all started 3 days ago on that massive move. So the weekly chart is breaking resistance, and we will need daily trend changes. We will need, actually we have a daily trend change. We will need a weekly trend change if the bulls are going to say this move is for real and going to last a significant amount of time. As far as XRP USDT goes, 4-hour uptrend has been a great guide. 5-minute oversold conditions continue to get bought. Here we just had one 20 minutes ago, and a nice solid almost 4 or 5% bounce. So again, these RSI levels hitting oversold in a very bullish market environment. I can remember one of my buddies that I was living with in 2017, I just told him, he didn't know anything about charts. When this line crosses under 30, buy. It was that simple for that run up. And it's that simple right now, and that we're constantly observing how long is it going to stay this simple, and definitely seeing funds rotating around, going into other coins, and the XRP USD bulls, USDT here, plenty of space for a 4-hour higher low to form next time we top out. And as far as resistance is concerned, the next level 568, and then we're looking up at 62. And if we're looking at things from the weekly perspective, we're now getting back to prices that we were looking at in November of 2018. And just out of curiosity, where was Bitcoin in November of 2018? And we were a lot lower. So, short-term action, XRP bulls making ground up, and definitely the coin to be in over the last 3 days, but coin to be in over the last 12 months, absolutely not. So we'll see if we get follow through. Again, that's just an initial short squeeze, and daily and weekly trend changes and follow throughs are what we're looking for the bulls to prove to us sustained buying power and sustained constant pressure on shorts. Because you know that there are a lot of people that are going to be looking to short XRP once this bull momentum runs out, and they've already been trying to short it, and they're getting squeezed out by the continuation and the sustained short-term strength. Let's see how long that keeps up. And again, keep an eye on the correlation between XRP BTC and XRP USDT as far as how long the bulls are going to keep this complete control. One more check-in on Bitcoin. Hourly, trying to change this hourly trend. Have to get over 18,482 to confirm the hourly trend change. And we will see if the bulls can keep their dip buying control. So we'll end it here with a do good things statement and chapter 2 of our road trip to Yellowstone from 11 years ago. Have a good rest of your day.
Boys, what are we doing right now? We're trekking. We won't see any of that for 7 days. It's a week. Pretty pumped. Won't see many of these people either. I don't. We'll see plenty of that. Plenty of that running water. Plenty of those guys. Come out. Damn. Got stuff hanging from the bears.
Got my nice easy access.
Mountain up. We're all mountain up. Dan, those are the craziest shorts. I just need to get like the shimmeriness. Look at that. Dan is hiking in those guys today. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive.
Alright, I say we don't go up that trail. I say we just go this way and then meet the trail.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, got our iodine water. Look at that color. Look at the. Just let's get the color of this water. Oh, great. Quality water. Yeah.
I feel like my day 2 pack is
Much better than day 1 pack.
Much better than day 1. I
mean, you live in.
I abandoned the double shotgun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Let's check it out now. You went with the stack.
I
The
went
stack.
with the stack.
As with mine. Don't know if you can see it, but we went with the strategic stack. Standard camping procedure.
I got this on my
Fanny pack.
yeah, a little fanny pack, a lot better, not hanging off the back.
Easy access. Easy
Extra
access.
weight,
You've
yeah.
got a nice little knife there.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling very good about the pack.
Look at those antlers.